If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. You know, when it comes to talking about inflation, we've kind of seen record highs of that. Now it's kind of coming down a little bit. And then you have interest rates. Those are coming down a little bit as well. And when this happens, so do the rates on annuities. So they are not as high as they were last year. So now the question becomes, well, do I buy an annuity in 2025? And are there other opportunities for guaranteed income, Steve? What do you think?
Well, there's lots of opportunities for guaranteed income. But Jess, if you get dependable, sustainable, reliable income and have that strategy, you're going to be good for retirement and also have catch-up buckets. You know, I used to tell people back in the day, you know, we'll turn on a catch-up bucket every 5 or 6 years. Now it's over 2 or 3 years because inflation is going up so much. But if you have a plan and you work that plan, I think right now as we talk about sustainable, dependable income is so important, and having a strategy where if the market falls, you know, there's lots of volatility going to be in the market here in 2025. So you want to make sure that you're not using discounted dollars to fund your retirement. But, you know, I talk so often, and Derrick and I were talking about this on the phone yesterday, that it's not about what's happening on Wall Street or what's happening on Pennsylvania Avenue. It's what's happening on your street. Have you dotted the I's and crossed the T's of your plan to make sure you're ready in case we have huge market volatility or inflation gets crazy out of control? Or, you know, as interest rates are coming down, have you planned for that? You know, we have a lot of people that are dollar cost averaging in the market and out of the market. All those things really matter in a strong retirement plan, Jess.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what else really matters too is replacing that paycheck, right? We like to call it mailbox money. So just as much as that paycheck stops when you leave that 9 to 5, what's going to take its place? Well, that's where the conversation of guaranteed income comes in, the conversation about annuities. I know there's a lot of, for some reason, there's like a conspiracy about annuities and guaranteed income. Steve, what can you briefly tell us, just kind of debunking some of those myths?
Well, you know, Jess, I've been doing this since I was 25 years old for over 36 years. And I'm going to tell you, we've been able to find some really, really strong and income strategies for our clients. And that's what we're really looking for, making sure you have income, or as you call it, mailbox money, each and every month for the rest of your life, just like you did when you were getting paid. I think the difference is you're going to need more and more and more. And we talk a lot on the show about how much debt should you have? Well, how much income should you have? And if we have market volatility, how is that going to affect your strategy? I think all those things really matter. You know, it's interesting, Jess, so many people come to me and say, I'm a do-it-yourselfer. Have I done everything? I find so often they have some huge piece of the equation left out that's going to wreck that retirement plan that they've always wanted. I just think it's important to sit down and really look at your strategy plan for mailbox money as you talk about it. It's so important.
Yeah, and if you don't have an income plan or retirement plan, and by the way, let me just go ahead and throw this out there, that it does not mean it's in your mind or you go, well, I have a 401k and I've got this savings over here and grandma says she's going to leave me this. That is not a plan. That is an idea in your mind. A plan is literally in black and white written. You have not only a plan A, but you have a plan B and a plan C, depending on which way things go. And on top of that, since you have the first plan, the backup, and then the backup to the backup, you know that you have that added peace of mind moving into retirement. So whether it's market volatility or taxes or anything else that comes your way, your money is protected and you have that opportunity for growth. Steve, go ahead.
Absolutely. I think the thing that really catches people is procrastination. They spend so much time watching Fox News or CNN News or MSNBC worrying about what's happening on Pennsylvania Avenue, but they're not worried about what's happening on their avenue. And I'm going to tell you, Jess, sitting down and having that plan put together, well thought out, it's everything. You know, if you're 59 and a half, what folks don't realize, they can take control of their money. All of a sudden, it's in their own backyard. They're deciding what to do with it. They're not having some other money manager decide what to do with it. And, you know, when you have time on your hand before you retire, you know, getting started is so important, Jess. You know, people come to see us and, you know, maybe you're 3 years or 5 years from retirement. Let's start talking. You know, it's called the Texas two-step. 2 steps forward, look at it, stop, back up 1 step, review it. How can we make it better? You know, Jess, I got a finance degree. I graduated from Texas Tech in 1986, but I have to tell you that everything has changed. Our strategy is based on our clients educating us on what they want. It's trial and error. Next time, let's do this just a little bit different. I love to laugh about this, but it's really true. If you're a broker, ask them if they were there in 2000 when nothing happened. Ask your broker if he was there in 2008 when everything happened. Had they been there for the long haul? That's what's happened to us is we've seen, what are those hopes and dreams, but most of all, what are your fears in retirement?
I ran across an article on Yahoo Life, Steve, and it addressed condiments that can make you sick if you use them past your expiration date. Something to keep in mind here. Obviously, mayonnaise contains raw eggs. Don't do that. Creamy salad dressing, that easily spoils once it's open, so be careful. And if you're a big pickles fan, you need to watch for cloudiness. So there you go. There's some fun facts about, some of your favorite condiments that may have expired, so be careful. But I bring all this up to obviously link it to retirement here, talking about expired strategies that may be within your retirement plan. Steve, can you give us some examples of those?
Well, I think the 4% rule, take 4% from now on and you'll never run out of money. That's absolutely not adequate anymore. You need to have a strong, thought-out plan, not just a 4% rule. I think the other thing is I love to talk about the rule of 100. People come to see me and they say, oh, I'm not a big risk taker. And when you look at their risk, they have 98% of their money in their retirement plans or IRAs, everything at risk. Wait a minute. What that basically means is the rule of 100 is take 100 minus your age. For example, someone 60 years old should have no more than 40% of their money at risk. And that means if you're the biggest risk taker, most people it should be, 18%, 19% in there. But, what we love to do is have people come in and let's do an asset allocation and look, how much risk do you want to take? And I think that's really important to mirror your plan to that. Just as this economy gets more volatile, safe money is really, really going to matter.
There was a recent study from our friends at Allianz, and they found that almost half of investors don't have an income plan for retirement. They also found that 48% are worried that they will live too frugally and not enjoy retirement. Nobody wants that. And then only 27% report hearing that their advisor discussed this topic. I mean, I don't know. I was flabbergasted when I read it because I thought the whole, retirement planning 101 is having an income plan.
Well, that's what you think, Jess. But, I have lots of people come to me, and a couple came to me a couple of years ago, and they would wait till the end of the month, and then they would look at how much money they made for the month, and they would spend just that. And if they had a month where they didn't spend anything, they'd use their credit cards. And by the time they came to see me, Jess, they had $46,000 in credit card debt. They weren't making any money. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Let's get you an income strategy. Here's a bucket over here. Your Social Security is one bucket. Then here's another bucket over here for growth. We're going to put that money there and let it grow. And then we're going to take this bucket of money for income that you can't outlive. And as that growth bucket grows, we're going to do catch-up buckets along the way, but you're not enjoying retirement. And she's like, we just fight about money all the time. And it's funny, they were sitting on opposite ends of the conference table. It was a huge deal. She was like, I liked it better when we worked. And I'm going to tell you, Jess, we got that income strategy in place. That first month, when that money was direct deposited in there, that mailbox money, they loved it. And you know what, Jess? They come see us all the time now. Last year at Christmas, they brought us some cookies. I mean, they're
nice.
like, you changed our lives. And, Jess, their kids even noticed a difference because they were miserable. Jess, retirement's supposed to be fabulous. It's supposed to be the best years of your life. But if you don't have a plan, you don't have an income strategy, you don't have a tax strategy, or estate planning strategy, all of those things really matter. I think it's interesting, Jess. People come to me and say, I've got this broker I love. Well, let me tell you what's different about Hoyle Financial. We really focus on that final phase of life called retirement. We're retirement professionals. We really advise you on that part of your life. And I really think what we've learned from our clients is what helps our newest clients become successful. And being a part of the Hoyle Financial family, we all have one goal, making sure your retirement is everything that you want it to be. But I'm telling you, just not doing one of those things could be a huge problem. I see people come to see me during COVID, and they didn't have a medical power of attorney. And, mom is in the hospital. There's not a power of attorney. She's widowed, and who's going to make the decisions? All of these things, Jess, are critical, and they really matter. So I just tell people, call us, get a complimentary consultation. Let's just go down the list and dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure you really have a plan, Jess. But, this study talked about 48% worry that they'll, be too frugal. It's real.
If you don't have a plan in place, you're kind of just every single day flying by the seat of your pants, essentially with this big pile of money that's supposed to last you as long as you live. And if you don't have a plan in place, if that plan's not working for you, then you're just kind of every day hoping you don't overspend.
Well, I think what's interesting is, Jess, I'm seeing in my own parents, is that two heads are better than one. And one of them kind of gets where they can't make decisions cognitively. That plan may be in that brain, but the other spouse does not know about the plan. They don't know what to do. And I always find, too, that they can't make decisions once the other one is not able to help make that decision. But it's like, yes, absolutely. I need you to say yes to that. I need you to nod. That nod is everything in a couple, Jess. I just went to a funeral this weekend for some dear friends of ours, and they were married 69 years.
Wow.
They lived across the street. They were just our family, And so, Jess, it's so hard to make decisions. It really is. So I just think about, when you see people in retirement 35 or 40 years, longer than they ever worked, you got to have a plan, Jess.
Real quick, Steve, you were talking about couples and how couples work together when they come in and meet with you. There's always somebody that's kind of the quiet one. Then there's the outspoken one that, knows everything and has all the questions, whichever way you want to look at it. But it got me thinking about just how everyone needs to be on the same page, because I know you've talked about it before, how people get to that retirement finish line. They've been married 40, 50 years. And you ask a question of what do you want to do in retirement? And quickly it turns into a therapy session because somebody wants to stay home and watch TV while the other wants to motorcycle across the country. Everyone's got to be on the same page here.
Absolutely, Jess. It's really funny. When you think about retirement, people think it's all the numbers. It really, in my point of view, is 25% about the numbers and 75% about the emotions. And, being that we focus on the final phase of life called retirement, it's kind of a psychology session in the beginning for people to decide what they want to do and what retirement looks like. And then you go back and mirror those numbers to what you want in retirement. That's what really matters, Jess. Make sure they work out. I just have this little bit of money, but I want to travel 3 months a year in Europe. That's not going to work. Everybody has to be on the same page. But I tell you what else is fun is people have buckets of money from inheritance or real estate or something that they've never thought about how creative they could be with that bucket of money. It's really fun just to think outside the box. What do I really want to do in retirement? I've worked all these years. I've been tied down. What do I want to do? Jess, you're going to laugh at here in Amarillo, we have a new Buc-ee's. And I can't tell you, I found out the other day when I was flying out, I stopped by Buc-ee's, how many people are now wanting to visit all the Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah. It's a very touristy thing. Yeah, it's a big deal.
I was boarding Amarillo after a funeral on Saturday, and this lady, she was 85, 86, kind of in there, very straight-laced looking. And she had a Buc-ee's shirt on. I'm like, and she had this really proper little purse she's carrying, and she's wearing a Buc-ee's. I mean, it's real. It's just crazy. Yeah. So, some people want to visit all the state parks.
Whatever you want to do. The world's your oyster in retirement, right?
It's funny, Jess, I'll tell you the story. My mom and I I was in San Diego for a business meeting a few years ago, and my nephew was in college in L.A., and my mom said, I want to go over and see him, but I have another request. What's that, Mom? She said, I want to drive all the way down Highway 1. Sure.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So we go and we have lunch with them, and it's raining. You've just never seen it raining. And we drive all the way down Highway 1, Jess. And if you know my mom, she's kind of like in control. And we get home and we're looking for a gas station. And it was stop and go the whole way. I've never been so exhausted. And she said, Stevie, I just have to tell you, you drive like a bat out of hell.
Oh,
so
my.
anyway, we did her dream and drove down Highway 1. But you know what? Those are great memories. My mom and I are so close and we laugh. But I need to remind her this week about when I drove her down Highway 1 and she told me what a bad driver I was.
I love that, though. It's a memory that'll last forever,
Jess, my mom is the most amazing woman. Oh, and so is my dad. But I'm telling you, it's those memories. So what I want to tell, when you think about retirement, think about that. If you have grandkids, what's that memory you want to do with them? What's that one thing you want to do in retirement? If it's drive down Highway 1, great. If it's drive all the way down Route 66, that's great. But what I want to tell you in closing today, make retirement everything you want to be. And if you know my mom, Sharon Brown, remind her about that story, okay?
If you see her out in the town, just
absolutely.
Just remind her. Real quick, Steve, as we, continue our discussions here on the show each and every single week. And listen, again, lots going on in today's world, our economy. A lot of people are kind of sitting back, holding their breath, wondering, well, whenever the other shoe drops, I guess I'll figure it out. But when that shoe drops, they want somebody in their corner that has their best interest at heart, that they can trust, etc. What makes you better than the guy down the street or better than those big box names that we have all heard of before?
Well, I think that we just have great people. Jess, our people have been with us forever. Cynthia's been with us 9 years. I mean, she has a mechanical engineering degree, but she loves what she does for our clients so much. She stayed with us. So I just think it's our people. I think it's our strategy, and I think it's that we're great listeners. And I think that's so important, Jess. We want to partner with you for your retirement. And at the end of the day, we're going to make it fun. So think about partner with us for your retirement and think about driving down Highway 1. That's what it's all about.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.